Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by SoundWeb Studios, brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson Missing. The Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Illuminatically, think tank of the future. The Sweet Song is by Serena Wagner, based on the life of King David, now on Amazon and Hayitan Music. Check out the latest at hayitanmusic.com. We're here with terrific Joan, who is a Canadian-Australian singer-songwriter born and raised in small towns of New Brunswick, Canada. We'll talk about the journey. He served in the Canadian Army for 11.5 years, 3.5 overseas, and relocated to Australia in '09 and became a citizen 5 years later. He earned a nomination for Single of the Year at the Josie Awards in '21. He moved to Nashville a couple years after that to continue his career. And he's got some releases. It's Never Too Late and also Better With Time. We'll be talking about some of the two songs that he's got out there through MTS Records. Live, ladies and gentlemen, the Plus Twos in beautiful downtown Nashville. The amazing Canadian author, singer, songwriter, born and raised in the very small towns of New Brunswick, Canada. He's got the release Better With Time featuring Drink 'Em Down and Mama Song. Ladies and gentlemen, the multi-talented Robert Ross. Robert, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Mike, thank you. It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Well, it's great to have you on board, Robert. Here, Canadian-Australian singer-songwriter, born and raised in small towns of New Brunswick, Canada. You served in the Canadian Army for 11.5 years, 3.5 overseas. You relocated to Australia in '09, became a citizen in 2014. You earned your nomination for Single of the Year at the Josie Awards in '21. You moved to Nashville in '23 to continue your career. You've got It's Never Too Late featuring Jack Daniels, Drive Me Insane, Golden Band. You have a new album which is called Better With Time featuring Drink 'Em Down and Mama Song. And we'll talk about your journey. And before getting all that, Robert, tell us how you first got started.
Well, it was a bit of a long journey into music. It started out when I was a kid. My mom, she was always singing around the house, so I had the influence from her. And then the radio was always playing. Radio was always playing in the kitchen. So didn't matter what time of day. Really, it was always going. There was always music around. So I was from a very young age. I was introduced to like the old greats, Hank Williams and folks like that. And then as I grew up, Johnny Cash, incredible influence upon me, Chris Christopherson, and then just going into house parties. A lot of house parties were up, so there was
Oh,
always
wow.
music happening, always happening then. And then as I got older, there was community halls and things like that, socials that we attended, and slowly got into music. And I didn't really play a whole lot. I was always shy as a young fella,
Mm.
so most people don't realize it about me, but I do have that shyness to me. Never know it on stage because that's when I let that other persona out. But yeah, it's just progressed into it, just singing at in the pubs and going open mics and things like that. And then I've always had people telling me that when am I going to put an album? So it's oh yeah, one day I'm going to do it. One day I'm going to do it. So that's why the first album was called Never Too Late.
hmm and I was just thinking about when you talked about you being shy and everything like that, not being able to get up and everything. Around what age and what point you finally broke out of your shyness? You got up and sang, met people, talked to people, and everything like that. What age do you think that was around about, or what time?
Well, probably started when I was in the military because it definitely breaks you out of your shell. And then when I did my senior leadership course, we had to a lot of training to be able to teach classes and that. So one of the things that they did was they give you a box and you had to stick your hand in it, and whatever item you didn't have time to feel around, just stuck your hand, grabbed something, pulled it out, and whatever you pulled out, you had to stand in front of the whole class. Could be 20, 30 people, and talk about this item for 5 minutes. So it kind of breaks you and gives that public speaking ability, and then there's still that shyness there, but it gives you the tools to deal with it.
hmm And this is all in the Canadian Army, and you served for about 11.5 years. And how did you first get involved with the Canadian Army?
Well, where I grew up, it's a relatively poor area, so a small country town. You either work in the woods or fishing on the boats
Mm.
or things like that. If you're really lucky, you got a job at the mill kind of thing. But I didn't really want to do any of that, and I saw the army as my chance of escaping that and bettering myself, and well, not just bettering myself, but getting out to see the world and that way was the best way to do it.
And you served in various aspects as well. And, what ranks, what you did, and everything like that in the Army for about 11 and a half years or so.
Yeah, my highest rank was sergeant, and yeah, I traveled all over Canada with it, and I was stationed over in Germany for 3.5 years. That was during the first Gulf War.
Okay. And, okay. And they'll see you in Germany, then the Gulf War. And what was the most interesting mission you've been on?
Well, Germany was it was amazing. Like it was a pretty tense time when the Gulf War was happening, but we did have a lot of free time in the earlier stages of the tour, and so we got a chance to see a lot of Europe, which was amazing.
Nice. Okay. What was your favorite part?
Oh goodness, everywhere you go in Europe, there's something amazing. The history that's there, it's absolutely incredible. The castles, the town that I was living in at the time, just outside of base, they were celebrating their 1200th birthday back. That was back in the 80s when I was
Oh,
stationed there,
wow. Okay.
and they were celebrating their 1200th birthday. So you look at North America, Canada, and U.S. You're only looking at a couple of 100+ years, and so 1200 years, and that one town, there was buildings there that were absolutely amazing. And there's one place that I stayed that, looking straight across from where my place was, I was looking at the castle for the Prince of Baden-Baden. So that was
hmm
pretty amazing.
Oh my gosh, that had to be amazing too. We'll continue journey as well too, and how you end up in Australia, coming to the States, Nashville, and everything like that, touring all over with Robert Ross, and better with time here on the Mike Wagner Show. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by SoundCrab Studios. Visit online at SoundCrabStudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. SoundCrab Studios is the answer. SoundCrab Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor, the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon, a paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, one target, where truth is illusion and those who will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon, a paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews in Evil Evan endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassie, Forge Riley, and Manils. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also coming to Amazon.com, Missing 2 by Mia Molson-Zia, double suspense, double the fun. Check it out, coming soon on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Illumnitical, the think tank of the future that brings scientists and engineers together from all over the world, creating basically a method to construct a renewable generator. This unique product operates on a closed loop system, generating more energy than normal and needs to function. The extra electricity can be used to run everything from homes, power grids, phones, and laptops. This power source is renewable, highly scalable, and more importantly, self-regenerating. For more information, visit facebook.com/Illumnitical. That's ELLUMENIPTICAL today. Also, Mike Wagner Shows brought to you by the Sweet Psalmist, based on the life of David, including 30 exquisite paintings and King David Psalms. The Sweet Psalmist gives us a new perspective of David through a Psalms he wrote and his time as a shepherd, where all started, and his complicated yet turbulent relationship with King Saul. It's a story of love, betrayal, repentance, and more. Check out the Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner on Amazon. Keyboard Sweet Psalmist, Serena Wagner. Also, Mike Wagner Shows brought to you by High Time Music, featuring the smash hit Baby Comeback. New music coming soon. Check it out at hightimemusic.com. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com. 40 podcast platforms, heard in 100 countries. Take it with you on any mobile device. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And if you want any of these gifts, you can email me to the Mike Wagner Show at gmail.com. We'll send you some links. And also, for more great gift ideas and books, Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today. Great for the holiday season, and support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. You're here, the amazing Canadian, Australian singer, songwriter, born and raised in small towns in New Brunswick, Canada. Robert Ross here on the Mike Wagner Show, and you did your tour of Germany, Canada. You served in the Canadian Army for 11 and a half years, and you also went to Australia. And tell us more about that journey.
Yeah, in 2009, I had an opportunity that went to Australia, so moved there and never looked back. There's no snow there, so it was great.
You're tired of the snow already in Canada?
Oh, well, I spent enough time in the snow and cold, so it was good to get out of there. And where I live in Australia, it's up in Cairns, far north Queensland, so it's tropical. It's summer all year round, basically. So
Hmm.
a midwinter day in Cairns is about 75, 78 degrees.
Oh, wow. Okay. That is interesting. And what got you first started going to Australia? Was it one moment that simply said, "I'm going to Australia"?
Well, my ex was she was a dual citizen, Australian Canadian, and we had talked about moving over there. And then yeah, we just in 2009 we decided that we are going to make the move, and away we went. And then 2014 I got my citizenship.
Okay. And that had to be a pretty big experience as well, too. And of course, you've been there as well, too. And then you happened to move on to Nashville. You were a citizen in 2014 and going from Australia over to Nashville.
Yeah, I'd been to Nashville quite a few times, back and forth. Once a year kind of thing, coming over and doing my thing. And then last year, I had the opportunity. I had a producer that sponsored me to move over, so I came over on a artist visa, a 3-year
Hmm.
artist visa, and then started working with the wonderful producer Gil Grand, and got the second album out there, and now a couple of singles out off of it already.
You also have a couple as well, too. Let's talk about your first release. It's Never Too Late, featuring Jack Daniels, Drive Me Insane, Golden Band. And tell us more about the album. Tell us more about the songs and what inspired you to write them.
Yeah, well, that album, it was funny. Like I said earlier, a lot of people were asking me, "When are you going to do an album? When are you going to do an album?" I said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do one eventually." And just time got away, and finally came down to the crunch. Said, "Well, I got to do one." If too many people are asking me to do it, so that album did it in 2019. Some of the songs I've been setting on for a while, and some of them were a bit newer. Uh, and then got it out there and started pushing it, and that's kind of where it all took off. Released Jack Daniels was a big song for me in Australia. It was number one, and it was number one on the World Indie. And you
Oh,
mentioned
okay.
other ones too, um, Golden Band and Drive Me Insane, and then Don't You Cry off that album was a very big song for me too. That one was number one on the World Indie, and also was nominated for a Josie Award Single of the Year.
And he also, managed to pull that off as well, too, in 21 as well, too. And, more about the songs, obviously about Jack Daniels whiskey, maybe a bit more to it than just having a drink.
But there's a slight bit more to it. It was funny because it was down in on the east coast of Australia. There's a small town there called Gladstone, and we had finished up for the evening, and then decided that we're going to go out on the town kind of thing. So we went out and we partied pretty good that night, and then so the bars closed down at about 4 o'clock in the morning, and in Gladstone, if you're ever trying to get a taxi there, it's near impossible best of times, in broad daylight, let alone 4 o'clock in the morning. So of course, here I am with a Canadian accent, and I'm in Australia, so there was no taxi around. I wasn't about to walk back where I was staying. They had us up at about, it was about 6, 7 kilometers away from where we were downtown. So I walked up over the hill and found the police station, went and knocked on the cop doors. And so the officer behind the desk buzzed me in. And, I walked in. She goes, "Yes, sir. Can I help you?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I've been trying to get a taxi and I just absolutely can't." And I said, "I know where I'm staying, but don't know how to get there." And she goes, "Oh, I know. It's horrible to get a taxi in this town." And she said, "Just wait out front." So I walked back outside again, and a cruiser pulled up with two coppers in it. And one of them got out, opened the back door for me. I got in. I gave them the address where I was staying, and they took me home. So I got home about 4:30 in the morning. Well, not home, but where I was staying. I got there before 4:30 in the morning, and woke up at about, I don't know, 7:30, 8 o'clock, and wrote the song Jack Daniels.
But then,
So anybody, like all these people that are out there giving cops grief, there's a lot of great cops out there, and I take my hat off to them because they are there to help people. And generally, the ones that are getting a hard time from the police are the ones that are giving them a hard time.
I
So
think that's
hats off to all our men and ladies in blue.
and especially to the Royal Mountie Canadian Police up where we used to live as well too. I mean, they do their job. U.S. does their job. It's like all over they do their job, or they have to do their job.
That's right. They're just out there to do a job, same as anybody else, and their job. As far as I'm concerned, they don't get paid enough to do their job. It's a dangerous job. It's a stressful job. So yeah, they deserve a heck of a lot more credit and a heck of a lot more pay for what they do.
That's like the same thing here in the States. It's like, not much pay, danger, and everything like that. It seems to parallel where you live in Australia and everything else. Of course, it's a good thing you're not driving anybody insane, but you also have that golden band. Those two songs. Tell us more about those.
Yeah, it will drive me insane. That's kind of like get into a relationship and you know things happen. The person does certain things, or you break up, and there's still that love there, kind of thing. So things about that relationship or that person kind of drive you insane, even though there's still love there. And Golden Band, that's a beautiful song for just about the nuptials, and being there for each other, and that love through time. And the Golden Band represents that bond, that circle of life, or circle, the bond that can never be broken.
And I think that's a really good point as well, too. And of course, we'll get to your second release, Getting Better with Time, featuring Drink 'em Down, Mama Sung, and more. We'll get to that with Robert Ross. You're listening to The Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Studios, brought to you by official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson's The Missing. Also brought to you by Illumnithical, the think tank of the future, The Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of David, now on Amazon, and Hayatan Music. Check out our latest at HayatanMusic.com. We'll be back with the multi-talented Canadian Australian singer-songwriter Robert Ross after this time out. We're back. Amazing Canadian Australian singer-songwriter Robert Ross, now in Nashville, here on the Mike Wagner Show from MTS Records. And let's get to your latest release here called Better With Time, and You've Gotten Better With Time, featuring Drink 'em Down, Mama Song. And tell us more about that album, those songs, and what inspired the write and do the album.
Yeah, the new album called Better With Time, and I guess that's something we all strive for, is to get better with time.
Mm-hmm.
And the new single Mama Song, that one is very near and dear to my heart. Back in January, I came home from church one Sunday morning, and it was on a really cold day in January.
Mm.
And I sat down at my desk, and I was looking at a picture. I have a picture of my mom sitting over in the corner of my desk, and I was looking at her, and then it was just like the words started falling out of me. And with that, people ask me how I write songs, and I always tell them that it's not me. It's a gift. It's a gift from God. It just
Mm-hmm.
flows down through my pen. I put it on paper. So yeah, the song just poured out of me. Put it down on paper, and I had it written in a very short period of time. So it's a great tribute to my mama, and that I was thinking about how she made me feel. And I remembered her when I was a young fella, how she loved me with all her heart. And I remember her singing. She used to sing country songs. She used to sing gospel songs around the house, and that filled me with a whole lot of joy to hear her sing, and the love that I could feel from her, as like the song says, I could feel the love coming through my mama's hand. And yeah, it was just to hold her hand, or just have her hold me, was more love than the heart could hold. It spilled over. So that's where that song came from.
Mm-hmm.
And the second single that I released is "Drink 'Em Down," which is a fun little party tune. And it's
Just like Jack Daniels, right?
well, you can't have a country album without the song about mama on it, or
Right.
drinking some.
Mama, whiskey, or even a dog, too. So,
That's right. I haven't written any with dogs in it yet.
well, that's going to be the next one, I'm sure. Maybe
It could
third
be.
album, fourth, who knows? So,
Yeah. But it's kind of funny, like way back when I had someone mention to me about coming home and finding their loved one cheating on them in their own home. And it's kind of like the ultimate betrayal. You know, not only you're being betrayed, but it's in your own home. And that kind of always hung back there in my mind. And then a couple of years ago, I started writing that song. And then when I got to Nashville, we're going through songs with my producer and I, and that song was kind of thrown on the table. So we
Mm.
finished writing it together. And yeah, it's a fun little tune. It's a serious matter. It's a sad matter, but it's a fun, happy tune. So it presents that sadness in a happy tone. So it kind of makes it fun.
And it sounds like a fun in a sense too, just like having with Jack Daniels. Maybe just combine that. And if there's any other songs we have not mentioned, feel free to talk about some of the other songs when inspired to write them.
Yeah, well, Better with Time, that's the name of the album. That one, I'll be releasing that one a little later on down the track. And that one, I wrote it for my lovely other half. And it's funny how this day and age, especially, women are going out. Well, not only women, men are going out too, but mostly women are going out and getting all this cosmetic surgery done. And
Oh yeah, yeah, so
it's just
much of it. My goodness.
absolute craziness. And my take on it is that as a lady gets older, they get more beautiful. They get better with time.
I
And
agree.
they don't need to do any of that stuff. It's just, be happy with themselves and see the beauty that comes through them. And yeah, it's just I wish, doctors and people that are doing that stuff, I wish they would just stop because it's just
Mhm.
absolutely shocking.
Right. And of course, social media and everything else going on, that doesn't help whatsoever. And I mean, they're just making a killing off of cheating off the years and everything else like that. And I hear about the cosmetic surgery. Some of it even went wrong too. And then 50 years later, it looked like, oh, what did I do? That's
Yeah. Yeah, and it's one of those things that once they start, the whole dysmorphia thing kicks in, and then they can't stop because they feel that they have to do something else, and then that leads into another procedure, and it's just like you can probably equate it to someone, a drug dealer getting someone hooked on cocaine or something silly like that. Uh, these doctors are getting these beautiful young people hooked on all this cosmetic surgery, and it's just so wrong.
wow. That is something. And maybe you can write a song about don't do cosmetic surgery. So, put that in there with the dog and everything like that, Jack Daniels and everything else. And
How about we do one about a dog getting cosmetic surgery?
oh, there you go. I mean, all
We'll
these
cover both
ideas are
bases.
coming out. I'll tell you. And where can we find all your music at, Robert? And including your latest.
Yeah, you can find it on Spotify, Amazon, all the different platforms. There's a bunch of different ones out there now. You can find me on YouTube. I'm putting a little bit more and more on YouTube. Facebook at Robert Ross Music, Facebook and Instagram. And you can find me Robert Ross on Spotify and Geezer Music, Apple Music, and things like that. There, be warned though, there is two Robert Rosses out there. There's a Robert Ross who is a jazz or blues musician. I believe
Hmm.
he's out of Chicago. So you have to see this here mug, with the cowboy hat.
Right. Yeah. Robert Ross, the cowboy. So remember that. And do you have a website? What's the website?
I do, yes. It's robertrossmusic.com.
RobertRossMusic.com. We want everybody to check that out from MTS Records. Once again, with the multi-talented Canadian Australian singer songwriter Robert Ross in Nashville here on the Mike Wagner Show. Just a few more things, Robert. What else can we expect in 2024 and beyond going into 2025?
Well, I'm going to be doing a bit more touring. Actually, heading to Australia on December 4th. I'm going to be down under for 3 months. I'm going to be taking 1 month just to hang at home and get a little bit of rest. And then January, February, going to be doing a tour down there, and then coming back to kick it off again in Nashville and throughout the U.S. and Canada in March.
Okay. And we're certainly looking forward to that, Robert. And who you consider biggest influence in your career?
My biggest influence, well, I'd probably have to say Johnny Cash. He's always been near and dear to my heart,
Hmm.
and I've always loved his music. And he's an absolute genius when it came to bridging the gap between music. You know, he's influenced so many people from so many different genres, and also Randy Travis has been a big influence on me. Chris Christopherson, incredible songwriter. Just I believe he's probably one of the best, if not the best songwriter in the world. It's just absolutely incredible.
Mm-hmm. And certainly incredible indeed. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
The best advice I would give someone would be don't give up, and it's never too late, because you know, it doesn't matter what your dream is. If you keep plugging along at it, you know, it may not eventuate to exactly what you want, but it's still going to give you something. It's going to give you that joy or that love or whatever you're searching for. It's going to be there in some level. So yeah, don't ever give up. Keep plugging along, and remember, it's never too late for anything.
And especially better with time as well, too, with Robert Ross here on the Mike Wagner Show. And look forward pretty soon. Robert, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We'd love to have you back. Once again, what's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your music?
Thanks, Mike. Really appreciate you having me on. And yeah, if people want to contact me, Facebook and Instagram, it's Robert Ross Music. And I always make a point that if someone takes the time to send me a message, I will take the time to respond back to them. So I'm very open that way, and I love to stay in touch with people who follow me, because without the fans, you know, I'm singing to myself. So yeah, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Robert Ross Music, and on Spotify and all the other streaming platforms, Apple, and you can find me at Robert Ross, YouTube, Robert Ross Music. My website is robertrossmusic.com.
All right, well, certainly check those out. Robert, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We love to have you back. We wish all the best. And Robert, you definitely have a great future ahead of you.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you taking the time for me.